Morning Year 12. I just wanted to go through a couple of things with you before you go to the Careers Expo, and also to sort of keep you thinking about what's going to happen when throughout the rest of this year. So at the Careers Expo this afternoon, it's period 6. You're only going to have that time, and you've got to get over there and back, so you've got to make your time count. Most popular unis for Saints alumni will all be represented. Generally, last year's cohort chose JCU and UQ, but for certain courses, particularly engineering, CQU, QUT are good, and certainly Bond is a really good option, especially for students who are eligible for a collegiate scholarship. That's 50% off, and that is if you're an OP 1 to 5 student. What's new this year is that there are lots and lots of accommodation providers for Brisbane. So for people who want to live on campus at UQ, there's a whole lot of residences, and I think International House is there at the Careers Expo. But if you wanted to, say, go to QUT at Gardens Point in the city, living at UQ wouldn't be an option. Urban Nest or Igloo, and there are some others, they would both be really good options because they're really close. For students who are looking for a job or an apprenticeship straight after school, TAFE, Diversen, you probably know. Cairns Regional Council, you'll know of. They are a really big regional employer and a good employer, so go and visit them if you're looking for a traineeship or an apprenticeship. Aviation Australia will give you training in aircraft engineering, so basically how to repair planes, and with the airport nearby, it's a growing industry. Skills 360, they are what's called a group training organisation. So if you wanted to, for example, be apprenticed as an electrician, they sign you up, they employ you, and they put you in a variety of different sectors within the electrical industry, so that you do your apprenticeship at a few places and you get a really wide range of skills. So if you're interested in an apprenticeship, definitely go and see them. Creative course providers, JMC Academy, New York Film Academy, they're both good. They're both private, so you have to pay, but you can pay it off later. Resume writing advice from, I don't remember the company name, but many of you will be thinking that when you go to university, the university will give you training in how to write a resume. That doesn't happen. What does happen normally is that you're expected to find that out yourself. They do provide assistance. They've often got career centres, and you bring along your CV or resume, you show it to them, they tell you how to improve it, but they don't actually ever train you in those skills. The ADF are there, of course, and I've got a bit more to say about that in a minute. So, what's going to happen and when this year? Term 2, if you're into the ADF and you haven't seen them, go and see them at the Careers Centre or in Lake Street. Book a U session now. You've got to get started absolutely now. Second thing that's urgent for the students who are interested in health sciences courses, medicine, dentistry, physio, optometry. If you haven't done work experience, if you haven't applied for UMAT, please come and see me. I've got relevant information for you. Other than that, term 3, for the OP eligible students, you'll do your QCS test, I think, and you'll apply for uni through the QTAC system. There's an info evening for parents. I think we've just set the date, and that'll be the 31st of July, so just right at the beginning of term 3. And there'll be a day session for the students, but as I reminded you the other day, it's straight after your formal. You may not feel so fresh, so I advise you to come along to the evening session with the parents too, because parents often ask really good questions. September the 30th is when your QTAC application is in, and what happens is, so you've really used that date of September 30th as I have to make a preliminary decision by that date. So that's why in term 2 here and over the holidays, you really should be doing a little bit of research, and I'm going to talk a bit more about that in a minute or two. If you're OP ineligible, keep going. Make sure you do well at your work experience, because you can take those work experience reports to an employer, and that will make them more likely to hire you. In term 3, I'll put on a resume writing session. So that'll be after school. You should come to that so that you can get your resume ready, because that's probably the most important ingredient in applying for a job. Okay, term 4. If you're OP eligible, I look through your QTAC application and make sure that you're setting yourself up for success and you're being realistic. Some students by term 4 know that they aren't going to get where they wanted to be. And my message is, come and see me sooner rather than later, because I can help you. I can absolutely help you find an alternative pathway to getting where you want to go. So it often takes longer, but you can always get where you want to go if you plan ahead properly. So don't worry if you don't achieve what you wanted to achieve. When you get to term 4, when you think, I don't think I'm on track to get that OP 2 or 3 that I wanted, come and see me and we'll plan around that. You should be applying for the residential colleges, especially some of the UQ colleges really fill up quickly. So term 3, term 4 is the time for that, and start applying for scholarships. And I'll talk more about that at the QTAC info sessions. OP ineligible guys, you should start applying for jobs. I'll start putting a list outside the careers room. Check Seek every couple of years. No, check Seek every couple of days. And start contacting people you know, because the hidden jobs market is how you access friends and contacts and let them know that you're looking for a job, and they pass on opportunities to you. So a lot of those things never hit Seek. They're all to do with who you know. Okay, so my core messages today are term 2, you should be researching, and I'm going to give you a cider like you look at in a minute. Term 3, preparing either your uni application or your job sort of application process. And then term 4, you should be just cruising, relaxing a little bit, and come and see me for fine tuning if you need to. Okay, I wanted you to have a look at this website because I have mentioned it before in newsletters and on Assembly, but if you're not sure where you're going with career and you really want to make an informed decision, this is probably the best website that you can look at. So if I click on all articles here, I just want to scroll down a little bit. Okay, so there's some really good articles here for you to read. For example, let's talk about planning your life at 16, what it's like to be on a board as a young person, particularly if you are a high achiever. You might be really interested in, getting on a board early while you're at university. I'm going to click on here, how to adult. There's some good things here. How to find a mentor and build a network, that kind of stuff. If I click down here on our research, there's a couple of reports which are really going to be good for you to read. So the New Work Mindset, and this is what I want to really highlight for you, there's a need to shift our focus from jobs to skills. So basically when you're going to select a university degree, what you want to look at is the skills that it'll give you, and a broad range of skills, not just this one job it's going to qualify me for. So you're looking at the skills it'll give you, not the job that it'll qualify you for. Down here too, the New Work Order Report is a really important one because it talks about skill clusters and so on. So if I just click on this and I download the report, it's really user-friendly. And the first section in all of their reports generally have lots of graphs, tables, Click through there. Okay. So you can just look at the graphics, really, if you're not much of a reader, because there's plenty of them. So I'd really like you guys to inform yourselves by reading that if you can, because I think it'll be worth your while. Last thing I have to say is I will seeing the universities at the moment at the end of term 2, and so I'll give you an update towards the end of term 2 or beginning of term 3 about new courses and changes to current courses. So I'll give you another one of these video updates then, or per newsletter. One thing I'd like is feedback as to whether you like these video reports or you'd rather the information come to you in an email. So if anybody has time to give me some feedback in passing, or to email me about which you prefer, that would help me improve the service that I provide to you. Okay, good luck at the careers fair.